Okay, so this is going to be a Let's Play of Blood Omen, also known as Legacy of Kain, Blood Omen, or Blood Omen Legacy of Kain, depending on how you want to order the title because of the sequels. Being as this is October and everybody's playing games like Resident Evil, Evil Within, so on and so forth, I figured let's do a different type of Gothic game. Now, I've beaten this game a couple of times before, but I'm gonna start over from the beginning, seeing as I lost the original memory card that this save file was on. So, let's have fun with that.
There is a magical operation of maximum importance. The initiation of a new aeon. When it becomes necessary to utter a word, the whole planet must be bathed in blood.
Now, I apologize if there's any duality in the audio or anything like that. I'm recording this through a capture card on my laptop, and also, seeing as it doesn't record me, I'm using Audacity to record me, and then I'm going to overlap it, so yeah, that's, if you experience that, let me know in the comments, please.
Call your dogs! They can feast on your corpses!
Don't.
For fulfilling the circle mallet of the Sapphire, you are hereby damned.
And Tony J is always awesome, but
You have but one purpose, damned warrior. You will serve us for eternity.
interrupted by story. No better way to be interrupted, I suppose. Oh,
Tavern's closing.
no.
Best be on your way, stranger. What? No mug of ale for a weary traveller from distant Corhagen? I can reward you well, for I am of noble blood. I stay open for no man in these dark times. Things come with the night that no sane man would welcome. And so I left, cold of heart and soul, forced to the road and the long, bitter night.
Alright, so what I kept on wanting to say in the middle of all this fun story was Tony J was awesome. In that cutscene, all I can imagine is him saying Hellfire from Punchback, so whatever. But,
That's
I
him!
can't remember the other shit I was gonna say. And supposed to die here, but
End it!
let's see how long I can survive. Never mind. Yeah, that's definitely not my record. Looks like he's got a throw.
They, victors, suffering to the conquered. Ironic that now I was the one suffering. Not anything as pedestrian as physical pain, rather the cruel
jab of impotent anger. The hunger for revenge. I didn't care if I was in heaven or hell. All I wanted was to kill my assassins. Sometimes, you get what you wish for. The necromancer Mortanius offered me a chance for vengeance, and like a fool, I jumped at his offer without considering the cost. Nothing is free, not even revenge.
You will have the blood you hunger for.
Okay, so I tried to see if I can reduce the audio coming from my laptop. That's also playing the audio coming from TV, so
I awoke to the
hopefully there
pain
will
of a
be
new
minimal
existence in a dank womb of darkness and decay.
minimal overlap or double audio
The
type
sanctuary
shit.
spell enables me to travel to my crypt, where the soil of my grave provides me respite. I often resort to this when I am weak and need nourishment.
Now, as I think I was going to say earlier,
Reputed to have been ripped
the
from the chest of
Legacy
the
of Kain
greatest
series,
vampire to have ever existed, Janos
which
Audron, the heart of darkness
began
restores
with this
vampiric
game,
unlife.
is
Life
one of
is
my
precious,
favorites.
Janos discovered, as it was
One of my
torn,
favorite
throbbing
series is
and
what I mean.
bleeding from his
And
own body.
This
the
ancient vial bears with it
story,
a
the
dark gift indeed, for with it
audio,
my life force is increased. These ancient symbols of power contain raw magical energy that increases my own capacity to summon energy for the spawning of spells.
okay, as I keep on trying to say point, is I love the narrative of the game, the atmosphere, the gameplay is kind of cool, kind of reminds me a little bit of some of the older over the top Zeldas. So, with that being said, the main selling point is the story and the soundtrack and the voice acting. Gameplay is pretty solid, but everything else is what stands out and what has actually survived the test of time. Out of the 5 games
Within
in
the
the
walls of these
series,
chambers I
of
could
which
find respite, and if I so chose, resume my journey when my weariness abated.
the games were actually supposed to continue. They're supposed to be 6 or 7. They canceled Dark Prophecy, which was supposed to be released after the 5th game,
The
Defiance.
world had changed in my
Then
eyes.
they
I had not
didn't
expected such
announce the fact
cruelty
that they
from
were
the
going to be
fight.
doing,
For in the embrace of the sun I could
I
find
can't
no
remember the name of the
comfort,
6th game.
only malice.
Well, it's supposed to be on
This would
the,
change in time
well,
for the
now past
worse,
gen, kind of like the
along
PS3
with
type
other things.
era
When
of
rainfall
games.
comes, vampires are wise to find
But
shelter
they
from its
kind of can't,
acidic
but
touch.
not kind of, they actually canceled that. Well, no, I guess you could say kind of, considering Nosgoth came out, or, no, beta. But Nosgoth was supposed to be the online component of the game. They canceled the main game, but they kept the online component. Now, with that said, the first 2 parts of the series, so Blood Omen and Soul Reaver, are my 2 favorites. Ironic considering Soul Reaver wasn't supposed to be a Legacy of Kain game. This was supposed to be a one-shot kind of deal, but Soul Reaver was originally Shifter. But they, Eidos or whatever, they're like, we kind of don't have a big enough sell for it, so why don't we just piggyback it off of the previous game? And the previous game was this. So while this game has 2 endings, of which at the end at the end of these series of videos, I will actually show you both. I'll go with the non-canon first and the canon ending. But until then, I should probably shut up about the history of and continue with these long CD loading times, which can be a little annoying, but what can you do? It's an old game. playing it on my PS2. Crap. As I said, it's been a while. And
These
okay, good
curious
thing I do need
devices
what's
hurl bolts of whirling energy and eviscerate my human enemies by stripping ragged flesh from blood-stained bone.
I like how it kind of keeps on giving you the narrative before actually has you continue. Now, each item has a description that gets narrated, whether it's storyline or just miscellaneous items that you really don't need in the game. Well, not need. They're optional again. So I took a wrong turn. No, wait, no, I didn't. So, Simon Templeton, I believe, is the
Hunger and weakness are
voice
no
actor for
bar to
Kane.
vengeance's call. I would find my slayers and send them back whence I came.
Anyway, going back to Simon Templeton, he,
Hold you down once, we could do it again.
What trickery is this? Their sneering faces were forever etched upon my memory. I had crossed death for this moment. My mind was empty save for one thought. I would kill. There is no greater release than that from vengeance sated. With my assassins dead, my quest was over.
Oop, accidentally turned the analog on. Anyway, Simon Templeton, voice actor for Kane. People may recognize him more so from Dragon Age Origins as Terran Loghain, from the Mass Effect series as Admiral,
'Tis not over, Cain.
the
These
one who
fools were merely the
advocated
instruments
for
of
war.
your murder, not the cause. Look to their masters, look to the pillars, and gain way to the fortress of the mind.
And for those who haven't played either Mass Effect or Dragon Age Origins, he was also in Charmed in the 1990s as an Angel of Death, and in 24 season
This was
3,
where the
I
bloody
believe,
deed of my murder took place.
as a 1 or 2 episode character. That kind of died early on, which is kind of shame. Yeah, Kane in the anti-hero he is kind of cool. But going back to actually killing his assassins, when I first played through this, I didn't have the manual or anything else to know what the game was really about, so I kind of felt that was kind of quick. Up until you kind of learn what this game is really about, and that's about balance, the world, destruction, a dystopian past,
The
per
necromancer
se.
offered me no warning as to what my resurrection would entail, and yet I must confess in my haste I had not sought one. Was his gift a curse? I would seek the pillars for an answer.
Okay, well, I waited to look at that for no reason. The game is rather dark, isn't it? Do you really see anything? I don't think so. see if I can the brightness as soon as I can find the remote. 1 minute. Please look at my dark screen for a little while longer. Okay, it's just like trying to look for your car keys. It takes way too long. Is that better? Kinda went back to the way it was. Yeah, it looks better, so fingers crossed, peeps. Now, with the speed that these guys chuck a knife at you, to the point where it booms, probably think he freaking is doing Sonic Boom or should be pitching. How do you not hit me? For Major League. That was kind of a quick blood drain. I don't really need to fight these guys. Which, the great thing about this game is you can kind of
The pillars of
just
Nosgoth.
run through, or
Even in life, few sights have moved me such as this. I marvel that such beauty should
look at the
grace
pillars.
our dying world. As daylight chases darkness, the
It kind of gives you
vampire's
some
power
creative leeway.
wanes.
Okay. Never been hit out of a teleporter before, but whatever. Alright, and in a second I'm about to meet Ariel, the former Guardian of Balance. Her name is Alice Gunn. I don't know, something Gunn. People may know her more as Bryan Cranston's wife in Breaking Bad, and for those who are starting to watch it, Grace Point, Detective Miller. So, yeah, I'll shut up now.
Nopraptor, your madness has shattered our dreams and blinded you.
Keep your distance, or I'll send you back to hell, spirit!
There is nothing left of me to fear, vampire. I'm only a shadow of my former self, Ari, the balance of the Circle of Nine. Even so, I can provide the answers you seek.
I seek only a cure.
There is no cure for death, only release. You must destroy the sorcery that is now poisoning Nosgoth. Only then will you realize peace. The 9 of the Protectors of Hope were sworn to use their powers to preserve our world. Now these pillars have been corrupted by a traitor. My murder at the hands of this beast drove my love Nopraptor mad. Now he spreads misery and pain among the Circle, crumbling the very foundation of Nosgoth. You must restore balance. You must right the pillars of Nosgoth.
I care not for the fate of this world.
Then for yourself, Cain. Beware. the unspoken.
Nupraptor, with his blind act of vengeance, threatened to destroy all of Nosgoth. Each circle member was bonded to the pillar he served. The pillars reflected the mental state of their servants, and as the minds of the circle degenerated and descended farther into dementia, the pillars crumbled. To restore them, each member of the circle had to die, and the artifact that served as their link to the pillar had to be returned. Only when all the pillars were restored did Ariel claim my curse would end. And so, my hunt for Nupraptor began.
Alright, so that's the beginning of the first portion of the game where he's kind of assigned what the hell to do. So I'm just gonna quickly find a save point, and this will be the first part for my
These
Let's Play
beacons
Blood
serve
Omen.
as landmarks during my flights in bat form. Once I have committed their locations to memory, I can always return. In bat form, I can travel great distances with ease. From my vantage in the heavens, no region of Nosgoth is forbidden to me.
Big downside to the way this game is, I'll let him talk before he lets you do anything, so I just had two things that were supposed to be talked back to back, but I cast a spell in between, which completely slowed down what I was trying to do. Now let's hope I can find that save point. Yeah, then I'll take the bat form in Let's Play Part 2, and I'll just immediately fly to where I was. Seems like a good places I need to take a break, so stay tuned for Part 2. Thanks.